cold temperatures.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about why we get stiff. And she's getting stiff quicker than I am because it's like 0.
Yeah.
And down here during the day, it's in the 80s, and at night it's in the late 50s, the upper 50s. So
Say hi. Say hi. Come on.
you can say hi.
You jumped up here for a reason. Is it because
I
you're
want that pendulum.
noise?
Hi, everybody. We're going to wait for a little bit for people to get in. You're piling on in here. Hi, Angla. Hi, Dream Journey 1. And Gina.
Hi, everyone.
I'm really excited. The response to the Mountain of Gold's been really good. I spoke to a woman up in Alaska who had COVID and couldn't get outside. She managed to have one drop off the gold paint. She had some river stones, and she's going to send me a picture. She has a gold mermaid outside her front door, and she has her hands out. She's got the Mountain of Gold sitting in their hands. So,
I love it.
and I got mine out, and we'll see where we go from there. For those of you who don't follow me religiously, and I really hope there's a whole lot of you that don't. Um, I'm calling this show Life Flow, and what it really um, is oh, by the way, that's Kelly from Doesn't Cats. We start talking, and I forget, and everybody hadn't met everybody in the room yet.
It's all good. Hi, everyone. Hi, Diana. Hi, Angela.
Hi, oil painter. Now there's a lady who knows where to find paints. Man, that
Absolutely.
woman does work. But what we've got is I'm wearing a scarf today because Terry Renner sent me a note, and anything she's on and being presented with, she was asking all of the readers to wear scarves in October for the solidarity to the divine feminine that's coming.
Nice.
So, and this is this is my lovely scarf that Jeffrey made.
Quincy's playing with the pendulum, trying to do readings.
Okay.
Readings?
She's bored with her own readings, I tell you. I'm pawing at it, Mom. What's the deal? Every day we have kind of a thought that I pick out of somewhere. I'll quit blushing, oil painter. You're fine. Happiness, this is our quote. Happiness, love, and peace of mind must come first in our thoughts and actions. Then God's blessings will flow like a river into our lives. And I picked that quote because it comes out of Angel Speak, which is a book I've spoken about before. But I picked that up because Feng means wind, and Shui means water. And I'm sure I'm not saying them nearly like they should be said. But what the whole theory, the center of the theory of Feng Shui is Qi. And Qi is that there's life in everything. And I do believe there's life in everything. I believe there's life in wood. I believe there's life in my crystals. Obviously, there's life in us. There's life in all the plants. And the Qi is the positive movement of energy. And Feng Shui means wind and water. So it's the energy we can see, that we actually can touch and see and feel. And then it's the wind, which is what we can't see it. It's just there. And what I want this thing to do is, what I want to do with the Feng Shui is get you to dip your toes into it so you can start to understand it. And I had studied it and actually taken I took an online course on it. I worked with a woman who was an interior designer. She made her whole reputation on doing nothing but Feng Shui. And she worked with an architect, and they built the houses from the ground up. When you build the house to meet all the principles of Feng Shui, that's called compass. And the first thing that they use is this kind of a wheel. have to go find it. It's here. Okay. And I'm sorry. This is on its side. I don't know how that happened, but forgive me. At least it's here.
Happy birthday, Libra lady.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're in a good mood. And this sort of shows how they kind of lay out the 9 sectors. Is it 8? It's 1, 2. It's 8 sectors. And they use this as a guide, and you can see like red, the fire, the things to the south is your fame and reputation. To the north, it's your career and your life path. To your west, I have it's your creativity, children, future, and it's ruled by metal. And to the east, it's foundations, family, wood, and past. And I'm going to take that off because it's giving me a headache to see something on its side. But that's basically kind of the principles, and they're the 5 elements that are in Feng Shui are earth, metal, water, wood, and fire. So 2 of those you should recognize because we have them in our 4 elementals. But then they distribute a little differently. And so if you're going to design a house, you like get that map out, you figure out where the house is going to flow. There's like some places that said, I'm going to talk about mirror placement, but that's like, I have to get some better graphics. I'll talk about that when I get to questions. Anyway, what I'm going to talk about today is form. And the person who asked about mirror placement, that's got a lot to do with form. And form is where we focus on the elements we're going to use, and we create a balance of those items in our environment. And that's kind of a quick thing. We are going to be looking at form, not at compass. Now, one of the things I think about is, since your house is alive, it's got to have a mouth and it's got to have eyes. So, of course, as the mouth is any door and the eyes are any windows. So it's a multi-mouthed, multi-eyed critter. But
sorry, my cat is literally sitting behind me chewing on my hair. So I'm trying to be quiet.
She apparently is not fascinated with Feng Shui. What's wrong with her? Okay.
Hi, honey. That's my husband and the cat, Nancy Jean.
By making those warm and inviting energy in, you also should use very dark drapes if you need those to sleep, but you need to open them every day and let sunlight in.
Yes.
So if you think about it as if your house is a living thing, and how am I going to nurture it? And the first thing that I did after reading this was, you have to declutter, you have to move things into certain places.
That's my husband, Kelmar, popping in and saying hi from work. Honey, you need to go home and deal with your cat.
And one of the questions Kelly asked me was, how does numerology fit into Feng Shui? And when you're doing the compass stuff, they really love the number 13. They think the number 13 is the best thing you've ever seen. They also do not like the number 8, which in our culture is prosperity. So, and you just need to decide what you want to do about that. Some people just have lucky numbers. And I thought it was funny that I found this article about how Feng Shui thought 8 was bad, because Ellie Down Under, she's had her surgery and she's had things she's posted to leave to play while she's recovering. And today, one of them was, what's your favorite number? Somebody asked her what her favorite number was. And she said it's so weird because she could remember when she decided what her favorite number was. She was 4 years old, and she had that clearly in her mind that she was 4 years old. And she now learned how to count up to the number 8. And she didn't want to pick 4 as her favorite number, even though it was her age. So instead, she picked 8. She said, so 8's always been my favorite number. So it's kind of do what you want to do, but I'm just telling you what the traditions say about it. And then it really says, I know, old painter. And it says you really need to clear up your space and declutter it. And I went out to our front room, and that's where I'm going to start since I've taken some time off this week in a way. Hypnicity, you're fine. Born on 8/8, married on 8/8. Okay. Um, it's also 8/8's Lionsgate date, so can't be too bad. Then one of the other things it says is to remove obstacles. So if you have a piece of furniture, something near a hallway that you have to always walk around, that's actually telling you the energy of your house is being blocked.
Yeah.
So you might want to rethink that. Also, plants, and I'm going to put some plants that like you can put in your kitchen and cook with them, and they're considered really high functioning.
Yeah.
And then bring in metal. And when one of the books I was reading was written, there's houses had a lot more wood in them. There wasn't as much metal.
Yeah.
Since the year 2000, they've incorporated more metal into furnishings. So so you bring in metal, and then fountains, flowing water. And the way we've done that in my house is we have pet fountains in the front room and in each of our bedrooms. So these cats are never going to get dehydrated, unlike yours. Looking for something. And so okay.
Okay.
So I did have a couple people pose questions on this topic, and then I will open up the this is a question that got sent to us today. What about the energies leading up to the week of 11/8, Election Day? White light protection and blue peace for harmony is what she's seeing. And there's all kinds of personal rituals you can use. I'm going to put up a chart about candle colors and Feng Shui. And, if you can pick colors to burning a candle brings that energy in, just like the 9 red candles do. So we're going to go into that one, and we're going to do it now. I'm going to hide you. This is the answer. And that in that color chart, the very one at the top, and sorry, this is another thing I couldn't blow up. When it blew up, it didn't make any sense. I need to get a better graphics program. White is protection, new beginnings, harmony, calming. Blue is emotional, healing, communication, creativity, focus, justice, and inspiration. Black is protection, repelling and absorbing negative energy, banishing negative energy from your area, and putting an end to an unhealthy situation. So if you've had bad things going on around you and you commit that energy to that space, it'll burn it up. Green is money magic, good luck, success, and health. And red is lust, potency, stamina. It's a power candle. It gives you confidence, willpower, strength, courage, and determination. The orange candle is intellect, good luck, career, networking, affairs, joy, and stimulation. I always find orange candles kind of fun.
I love anything orange, actually.
Unconditional love is pink. Affection, warmth, happiness, forgiveness, reconciliation, and intimacy. And then yellow, and this is yellow, intelligence, focus, learning, mental abilities. And purple is psychic power, openings of the third eye, meditation, deepening of spiritual awareness. And gold, just gold is prosperity, like the stones we put outside. And if you notice, those kind of follow a lot of the chakra colors that we deal with a lot. So if you think in your candles in terms of What chakra do I think I need a little more work with? We're going to see it. So now we have one more question to show. And had bad feng. This is a story from Eliza. Had bad feng shui in my childhood bedroom, and it ended up. I couldn't write it all out because these things won't take your whole your whole statements. But the family kind of fixed it by putting a chest of drawers at the end of her bed, which blocked the bad flow of the energy in that room. Now she lives where she has a 10-kilometer mountain behind her house. And she said, but she would never live on the downhill slope. So it must be you have to be at the bottom of the mountain. I looked about mountains and things, and that's where we go into compass feng shui, which is the one I've never really studied all that much.
That's an interesting point. I actually live on a downhill slope. I mean, it's not a mountain by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely am at a downhill moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oil Painter says that orange is a great color for creativity, which is interesting.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, then we got, is jade an herb? There is a jade plant. It is considered extremely strong in helping people with feng shui. It's from South Africa, and it can grow to be quite tall. But in everything I read about it, nobody was saying, and mix it in your herb butter. I mean, so I don't know if I didn't have enough time to look up and see. It's not an herb I know of.
Right.
And wait a minute. Okay. I'm trying to catch up in the reading. Do you see any, Kelly, that
Sin said blue for justice, so a blue wave for election day, which sounds beautiful.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this one. Yeah. I'm going to do a show about mirror placement. It is a thing. You can take energy that's something that's a window that's pointed the wrong way and put a mirror and move it the other way. I know that there are people who work with ley lines, and they do that with crystals to move the ley lines so and ley lines can have negative energy. And so they move the negative energy away by using mirrors.
Yeah.
My only experience with the mirrors I bought a house, and it had a spirit in it, and it decided to reside in my mirror at the front door. And my son was in his early teens at the time, and I didn't want to tell him, oh my God, we've been, and so, I mean, you'd see the guy's face looking at you. And so one time he came home late at night, and he said, there must be something weird with the way the lights are in the living room, because I thought I saw this guy's face in the mirror. And by now, all the adults living in the house with him were going, no, there's no ghost in the mirror. And then when I moved, I left the mirror.
It's interesting that you say that, because you've heard me say this. I've said it here before, and obviously on my own channel, where I've talked about putting the mirror by the door when you run in or when you run out, and just sort of boosting yourself up before you leave, and then congratulating yourself when you come home. And that's bad feng shui.
Mm-hmm.
To have the mirror close to the door.
It's 10,000 feet. I misread my K. And cold toes is jade plant. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, they do grow very well. And you're not in, probably cold toes is in Alaska. That's why she has cold toes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if it'll grow there, it'll kind of grow anywhere except maybe the Southwest.
Oil Painter says that jade is not edible for animals and slightly poisonous for humans, so don't eat it.
Oh, good. Okay. Don't eat it. Are there feng shui plants? Well, the one I found was herbs, and I didn't realize it would be this teeny tiny. And I don't have it on another form. I don't. When we talk about how hard we work.
Yes.
our shows. We really do.
Yeah.
But then we say, "Oh, that looks fine," and then we realize, "Oh my God, I have to look at this on a
Can I tell
screen."
you? Can I share a little story about how hard we work?
Yeah.
So, to that point, only because this happened. This was my experience yesterday. So normally on Mondays, I don't have anything to do because I try to get everything done on Friday. So that Monday is kind of like a easy breezy day until I go live at 6 on my collaborative channel, Circle of Friends. So yesterday, on the weekend, someone said to me, Kelly, do you do shorts on your channel? I said, no. They said, well, you should try and do a short. And I'm like, okay. I fell asleep right after my dinner, which is, I don't encourage that. Don't do that. And I woke up at 2:30 in the morning. And I was wide awake, like I had slept for 12 hours. And I got into Canva and I started creating a short. At 9:30 a.m., I was finished. And I was ever so proud of myself. And I uploaded that thing and I popped it out onto YouTube. And within an hour, it had 24 views. And I thought, look at you, girl. Look at like an old dog learning new tricks. I was so proud of myself. And then I got a copyright claim. And then I got a warning on my channel because I did it through Canva, because you can't upload a short from a PC. You can only do it through a phone, or I'm assuming a tablet or whatever. And I don't operate like that. I do everything on my PC. Well, my friends, I totally uploaded it incorrectly. There was no title. There was no connection to my channel. I missed all the stuff below it because I just followed the steps that I would normally follow. So I had to delete it. I had to delete it. And so, like 6-7 hours worth of work down the tubes. So I was quite disappointed about that. But,
Well, I'm trying to get rid of Eliza's comment because we've already looked at it.
Yeah.
And it's not going away. I cannot tell you guys how much fun YouTube is. It's just so, I mean, I love all of you and I love all the comments I get. But
can you click on something else to make something else come up in there?
Yeah, I'm going to try. That's what I'm looking for.
Any old comment will do.
Okay, somebody who's doing last show now. She's painting her gold stones and almost missed us. Okay. That you can do. If you can move the energy that's coming from a certain direction, move it away.
Yeah. Thank you, Dream Journey One. My point in sharing that story was just about, sometimes we put a lot of effort into something that no one ever sees. And that goes for everyone, right? There are things that we do, like you go into the closet and you start cleaning it out, or to sort for the seasons. And before you know it, you've been in there for 2 days. And, you close the door and you walk away, and like no one would ever know that you put that kind of effort in. And so, you have to find the blessing in that. Oh, now we've got a repeat button.
Oh, no. Where did we get a repeat button?
Dream Journey One. It's like, I'm sorry that happened, Kelly. I'm sorry that happened, Kelly. I'm sorry that happened, Kelly. Oh, dear.
Maybe she's just sorry that happened. The only time that I ever got into a copyright thing was I took it off a university channel. It said it was free and open because they wanted people to use it for education. And Danny and I were doing a thing on frequency, and it's from the Harvard School, and they show how waves of beads start off even, then they go into this wild swinging, and then in like 2 minutes they're back to their straight line. It's really interesting how nature wants the frequencies to come back. Okay, I'm going to, in answer to Angla's thing, I have two meditative techniques that are pretty easy to explain, that you can do and help bring the energy up in your house. And I often found having a lovely scented candle helped with this.
Yeah.
And what you do is you call on chi, call on the vital energy, and then that animates each and every one of us. And you see it as a big golden globe that surrounds you, this light from the universe coming in. And you're like, it's like you're in a big Christmas ornament.
Right.
And then you breathe it in and you breathe it out. You
Yep.
feel you've called this energy in, and you hold it around you, and it will help you in dealing with your environmental uh, improvements. And that one can be that's the sphere of chi energy can be practiced anywhere. I could sit here and do it at my desk. I wouldn't suggest doing it as you're driving down the highway. That's
No,
probably
don't do that.
no.
For
But
entertainment purposes only. Jeepers.
yeah, I really feel bad because all those people that do the meditations you listen to before you go to sleep. I say, don't do this while driving your car.
Right?
And when you fall asleep 5 minutes after they've started, you
Yeah.
understand completely.
Yeah.
It's not a safe thing to do.
Yeah.
But
I just want to say, Diana's point and to Miriam's point, yes. What I took from yesterday's exercise was that I got all excited, my creative juices were flowing, and I wasn't paying attention and focused enough on the instructions, which is why it was a lesson for Kelly to slow down and focus a little bit more. So, but yes, I was proud of myself. Now when I go to do it again, if I do it again, I will know exactly what to do and what not to do. So
right.
it was a good experiment.
So I also wanted to say that if you were to have something like a eucalyptus, like a lovely smell around you, you're breathing that in, you're accentuating, you're moving even more energy around, and you just keep breathing in. It's just your same 6 breaths, bring
Yeah.
it in, count it, let it go.
Wow, that's interesting, Prince Charming's mom. 126. There you go.
Yeah, she said she was she was a certified couch, and I didn't know how to answer that, so I didn't light up her question. It wasn't in bold. Yes, that's very important to moving the chi around your house. That would be a simple way to start that process.
I love
And
that.
you can so if you do the breath thing, if you're in the globe, what you're doing is you're replenishing your own chi, and you're helping draw more chi into the life flow of the world, and recognizing where it is. You'll all of a sudden look at a rock and say, oh yeah, that rock's always meant this to me, or some other element.
Yeah. Angela at 1:24 your time asked a question.
Yes, that can be not good. But if your house is built that way, then you just have to basically. What I have is I have 2 doors because I live on what used to be the patio. It's not that my children are mean; it's a great big space, but but it is only 9.5 feet wide, and I have the door that used to go out to the patio, and then I have the door that goes out to the alley.
Right.
And they're immediately across from each other. And I can't imagine where else I would put them. But I do have my bed because of how the house lies. I sleep with my head directly facing north, and that's supposed to make it easier to sleep. Just saying.
We're all going to be moving around the house with our compass now, checking everything out, all the positions.
And you can find a compass on your cell phone. That's how.
Yep.
That's how. One of my. God, I'm blanking.
That was Vicky, I think, right?
No, it was a woman in Puerto Rico. Vivian.
Vivian.
Right. Vivian in Puerto Rico. She went to lay out her garden, and she said, and she heard, north has to be north. So she lives in a rented apartment in San Juan, where the roads are not exactly grids,
Right.
And she goes, okay, I don't know where north is. And then the voice told her, look in your cell phone. You have a compass in your cell phone. She went, really? And she opened it up and found the compass in her cell phone and figured out which way is north.
Libra Lady says, years ago I read that it was good to have a cat to move the chi in the house. That started a conversation with my late husband to get our first cat. Aww.
Yeah, I think they're just cool to move everything. If that's true, I have more energy moving around my house with my daughter's little bitty kitten who does nothing but plague the big older. She doesn't plague Ua so much, but Dublin, my cat, she just thinks it's great fun to come up and try to get her to play. And Dublin's 12 years old and long past playing. She's a good reflection of being my cat. And she just really, and we didn't realize it, Casey didn't realize it, but Sterling got out of her bedroom in the middle of the night and was running all around the first floor. So I came and, oh, she got it again. Damn little critter. I have a turkey feather that I use to waft around the sage when I
Right.
sage my office. Well, it came back downstairs yesterday all chewed up. So,
To that point, because I come with all the stories. What can I tell you, friends?
yeah, dude.
So I literally ordered something off of Amazon, and I was sitting here getting ready for my live on Sunday, and my husband brought it to me. I have a little table desk kind of situation that sits beside me, and he put it there. And I was getting all my cards out and saying my prayer and getting myself ready. So I knew it was there. I seen him put it there, and then, about 15 minutes later, he came back and said, "Why was this in the laundry room?" And I'm like, "What? How did it get in the laundry room?" Well, because this one over here, the one you see by the patio door, Quincy,
Yeah.
took it and was trying to hide it.
Rearranging things.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Oil Painter says, agreed about the head to the north. Interesting.
Yeah, we have a debate. Angela says she
Yeah.
does better southeast to south.
I
So
got me.
whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through. I'm going to put up Prince Charming Mom's information, and if you can get a hold of me, I'll be glad to put you out, Prince Charming's mom, when I'm doing some more stuff with Feng Shui. When people decide I've kind of got started, but now where do I go? The other thing that I think this is one of my favorite things is
sorry,
Yeah.
Nancy Jean 131. This is interesting. Charm Cruise. Again, speaking about the head to the north, this is an interesting comment. 131 your time.
Mhm.
Can you see it there? There you go.
Yeah. That's interesting. The Hindus place the head to the person to the north before cremation. Hence, they do not have head in the north when you sleep.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other one, when we're not talking about lying down flat and not moving, one of the things to get your chi moving, if you don't have lots of lovely fluffy cats, is you stand with your feet apart like you were going to dance,
Mm-hmm.
and you have either drums going or some music you can just dance to, and you have it going, and you just start swaying your body, lifting your feet up and down, doing whatever you want to, and then you concentrate on the beat of the music, and you let the music go through you, and it will move you in a way on how to move all the chi around. And that's another chi exercise. That's the moving one. And you can get the chi flowing through every part of your body, and you'll really feel it when you get to that point.
I love that.
Okay. Did I talk about taking the ads off?
No.
Okay. I've talked with a couple of other readers, and because apparently I don't see them because I'm blessed with having premium, and somehow or another, if I go over to my one little channel and I check on things to make sure that my messages are going out like I want them to, and I see an ad, it's usually, which I can't figure out their motives for doing this, but it's either bodybuilding or one of those things you carry in your car. So if you get stuck in the frozen north, you can put it over your head and you won't freeze to death. I mean, it's weird shit. If you ever listen to anything I ever talk about, it's not. Today it was a guy hanging from a bar and every muscle in his body was bulging. And I'm like, really? He's telling me about this protein product I could get.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in other places and for these yous who are in other states, apparently there's some relatively grotesque propaganda that's hiding as a political ad. And I just don't want that ugly on my channel.
Right.
So I have gone to YouTube and I've demonetized. Now, what for you who don't know, every time somebody watches an ad, it throws money in our coffers, you know. And for me, it's not that much money compared to what I do make doing other things. But it really is. I don't want you to have to sit through, I can't even, well, it would be the equivalent of me having to be tied to a chair with my eyes pinned open watching a Ted Cruz
Right.
ad. I don't want you to have to go through that to see what I'm talking about. And
Right.
not only that, but I think it changes the temperament of the vibration of the people watching
Yeah.
our channels. So we are not, my channel will not be monetized again until mid-November. And, and I talked to my two housemates about it and explained what I was doing there. Yeah, sure. We'll cover whatever the difference is. And I know for one of the readers I was talking to, it's her monthly power bill.
Right.
But she said, I don't want people watching my show after going through Debbie
Yeah.
Downer. Or worse is when they break in the middle and talk
Yeah.
to you again. So if you hear readers who are not taking ad money, now, conveniently enough for us, YouTube has started a new
Yes.
section that you can say thank you, and it has given amounts, and you can push on that, and it's like $2 and up. And so if you see a reader that you like what they're doing, you can help with that. I mean, it does take us time, effort, and money, and we do have to buy things. Like I'm going to have to buy a better graphics program if I'm going to try to do graphics. So contribute to the graphics fund.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, to that point, not to go on about it, but it does. It costs money for cards and crystals and other sorts of things, and it doesn't matter if someone wants to buy you a coffee. It's appreciated. So
It's whatever, however it's on someone's channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Consider it, because we're just out here like you trying to make a living. Okay, well, here's a question.
That's nice, oil painter. She said my son did me a solid and got family subscription for no ads. That's sweet.
That's lovely. It is different to me. Is it different to meditate on your chakras compared to the flow of Feng Shui? No. When I read all the things, this is where I think all of the disciplines we do collide. Like when I was talking about the colors, the candle colors that they suggest in Feng Shui, those match the chakra colors. And people ask me often, well, you've got, not to bore you to tears, but there's calcite that's bright green and yellow and white, and there's clear calcite. And if you each one of them, what I would say is the clear calcite would be on the crown chakra, the yellow calcite would be at the solar plexus, and the green would be on your heart.
Right.
So that's when I'm working with crystals and I've come up with a color I need, a kind of sense I need about it, because the mandalas that I use to create my grids from, those pictures are not in stone, they're colors, so I try to relate it to that. Okay, wait a minute. Cold toes. Yeah, I mean, somehow or another they parcel out a little bit of what everybody watches that's on premium. But you consider that these gamer channels have a million subscribers. I'm sure I'm not getting much When that time that's so man.
Right.
Um,
This is super interesting.
mm-hmm. That's great. And that's, trust me, that's one of the things I'm going to be doing this week.
Yeah. I do that for my anxiety as well. There are days when my anxiety may get really high. And if I go and declutter like a shelf or something of that nature, or the table or whatever, it actually helps to calm me down, right? Because I don't feel like things are out of order and coming towards me. I sort of can, which really I'm clearing my space, clearing my energy. So
I don't understand this question, but I'm interested.
mm-hmm.
Cash Peters changed his P, comma, at former descriptions. Has that been to get rid of political ads? I think Cash Peters changed. He's out of the country right now. He's traveling. I don't know if that's why he did it. I don't know. But I mean, every reader has to do what they need to do, because I don't have any right to tell a reader who doesn't have lovely housemates.
Right.
Cut them off, you're going to be sin.
She says platform descriptions is what she meant there.
Oh, okay. 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 That's platform descriptions. Okay, let's see.
So that's got to be something in the behind the scenes YouTube studio ish.
Right.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, I know one reader who 2 years ago got so angry at them that she went after them and they cut them off her channel. But it became such a grievous process to do it when other readers tried to go on and do it that they couldn't get it done.
Interesting. Hi, Anna.
So, Anna Banana.
Anna Banana.
Okay. Does anybody have other questions outside of Feng Shui that they want to have us look at? Because
Nancy Jean, I'm not sure if you mentioned. If you did, I was here comes the cat again for the hair. Really? Do we have to have a conversation later today? When you were talking about the numerology for Feng Shui, is the same pattern that we use for numerology where we reduce it to a single digit?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's called compression arithmetic. You
Right.
take it all back. I sat through, I'm going to give somebody who doesn't know me from Adam a shout out. If you can find a guy, it's Jane, Jain space 108. He's an Aussie. And he does a lot with sacred geometry and form and sacred math. And he just in the last few days ran some free seminars.
Right.
The guy talks. He talks faster than a Chicago lawyer. I mean, this guy. Some people were typing into the chat. Could you stop and take a breath? But you can also watch them again over the next 48 hours when you do get a free one. He just had one on 369, the Tesla thing, which actually Tesla was not the one who found it. And he, but it's a guy named Keeley who actually figured out, and he figured out from tonalities. He sang in a choir in his church in England, and he would stare up at the rose window, and all of a sudden he realized he did that things that people who are mathematically inclined did. He put the mathematical progression of the notes together with the rose window. I could have sat under that rose window till I was a skeleton and I would never have seen that. But this guy did. And it's really fascinating. And so if you want to know more about sort of another, and he talks about all of the math that's done in the things he studies is compression mathematics, which is taking the numbers down to their lowest common denominator. And someone asked, do ley lines or feng shui? I can't wait till I bring Tim Watkins over from England on a show. He does house clearings He does regenerating energy. I'm sure it's going to be some part of it. You that you'll be able to see it when I get with him. I'm really hoping it will, because I do know architects that have been called in to understand why parts of the houses didn't feel like the other parts of the houses. That had to do with ley lines. Now, could a good as Feng Shui person come in? I don't know, but it'd be interesting to find out.
Totally.
Okay.
Coltos has question at 144 right after that.
Right. I have a question. The diagrams for homes never show any compass orientation. That's because you're looking at form Feng Shui. If you were looking at compass Feng Shui, they would tell you the orientation. And I remember in one of the online courses I took, they used to make a big deal about what direction your front door faced. And, when you buy a house that's built or you live in a place that has grid streets, you don't got a whole lot of choice about. So I think more of, and it does make a difference. And then that's when you have to go in and do the adjusting your space with form. And you can get a nice cat's tail in Canada.
Right? I'm just like, honestly, this cat, I don't know. Quincy, what are you doing, dear? Hey?
Okay. That's going to be in further shows. Prince Charming's mom. That's one thing I'm going to ask you all to do. Go to my community page or after this show, type in the questions you have like that so I can structure a show so I can bring some things in and show you. Obviously, I'm working on my graphics, kids. I really am. But
Quincy says, make an ad out of me. I'll be your new ad.
I'll be your new charming cat. If you'd like to help out, and then you can get a show that kind of answers your questions. Because I'm sort of running out of stuff to say, except if you want to just sort of declutter a space. And it's kind of simple, like the 8 stones, except they're not simple. You got to go paint them, right? But hi, Carol Lamb. But if you put a bit of each element in there, and mirrors count for water, and portraits. Oh, thank you, Cold Toast. And pictures of something that's in Feng Shui will count for okay, we're back to I had bad Feng Shui. I think I can't find it in the feed either. That's what's really frustrating. Okay, this may be, Mercury's not retrograde anymore. Yay, Rob, but we're still in the shadow. I just want to say, and I will do a show. I'm going to take notes out of here. I saw some of your comments. Like I said, I'll try to have really, really, really good graphics, because in a book I own, it has a thing, but it's in black and white. Maybe I can scan it and make it bigger. I don't know. I used to be able to do all this stuff. Oh, I know a fun fact. Here it is. Okay. This is in the book, if I can figure out where to get it to be. Anyway, you can see it's got the 9 sectors of the house. And I found in an apartment I lived in, this has no north, south, east, and west. It's just got rear, left, rear, right, middle, rear, middle, left, middle, right, center, and then front, left, front, light. And it's based on where you enter the house. And then in this book, I know I can get some of the drawings where it shows you how to shift how you see that in Feng Shui. But
Right.
that's called Feng Shui, which is probably going to do more of, because unless somebody's planning on building a house, and then I would say, don't rely on this broadcast. I would say, go find an architect. And I had something I was going to say. Oh, for those of you who have gardens, you will be getting your invitation to come to our gardening party. And your invitation is going to be slightly different. I'm going to have an open invitation. I'm going to have an hour with my happy gardeners first. Then I'm going to have an hour and a half where I invite people who are anybody who is a subscriber to my channel, so they can see that particular thing. And they can come in. A lot of them won't have gardens. There's a couple of readers who are fascinated with the garden who will also be in there. It's going to be so, and you can see how well I handle two of us on the screen and graphics that don't work. So if you need a good laugh, come over on Saturday in the afternoon and be amused. Watch me sink into the ground.
Nancy Jean, you're awesome. We all love you.
I know.
There's no sinking. There's no sinking amongst friends, my friend. Whoops.
I have absolutely no idea what just fell, but I'm sure there's a cat behind it. I have.
All I know is Quincy was right here. He didn't do it.
Yeah, Quincy was safe up in Canada. He's not. We don't have a portal between our places other than StreamYard. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing that. I may be. Yeah, Pluto does station. That's fine. Pluto's so far out there, and trust me. Yes, if you have a picture of a water scene or a wood scene, that can fill in for if you don't want to have running water in your house. I can use pet fountains because they don't make tinkling sounds.
Yeah.
They just recycle the water. I unfortunately was raised by one of those 1950s mothers who thought putting you in the bathroom with the sink running was a good way to potty train you.
Yeah.
All that's a good thing to do is to teach you to never be able to be near fountains.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Journey 1, I don't know what your deal is, but you keep doubling up, girl. Yeah, you could paint plants.
Yeah.
You're bringing in the energy of plant. Oh. Okay. Yes, angels speak. Oh, I guess it's on Audible Books now, which may be true. It's super skinny. Audible Books would be a couple hours, I would imagine. It's not that long. It's a wonderful book. And that's where I'm snatching all my quotes to start the shows. Okay. I agree, Eliza. Any stationing planet could be significant depending on where it's planted, where it's placed on your chart. But I've had Uranus and Saturn squaring on my natal sun or within immediate degrees that affect my natal sun for last year. So I don't give a shit where Pluto is. Honest to God, I don't. Maybe I'll learn to pay that. Maybe a thunderbolt will come in and get me. But really, after the year I've had, and then this next dance that those two do, where they're not going to be exactly completely direct in opposition mode, I'm so glad those suckers are getting the hell away from me. We forgive you, Journey 1. At least you wrote us once. That's nice. Vicky's one of my happy gardeners.
Yes,
she loves using the garden. I find it can tell you what you need without being influenced by a lot of other images, which is part of why it's here. And Vicky Howell managed to hop in between Dream Journey 1's double.
I love it. I think it does, Prince Charming's mom. At least in Canada, the square footage of your garage counts towards your
It's
whole
part of
house.
your house, and there's actually in two of the books I've read, there's each one has a chapter about garages and storerooms and
Right.
how you can hide chaos in your house by not making a sense of neat arrangement with them.
Right.
And one woman who didn't take care of the storage units next to her house, who had a payday and a millionaire bar.
I just want to show that because it's Prince Charming's mom, and I'm, you know me, I just shuffled the cards and this popped out, so I just thought that was interesting.
Cool.
This is a ladybug.
Mm-hmm.
What if everything is already working out? Charm. So, you know, sometimes when we almost like things are too good to be true, so we need to do something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, just, you know, that whole like just stay present, enjoy the moment kind of vibe is what I'm picking off of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Take that stillness to count your blessings in that moment. Sorry.
Okay, no. The other thing is that oil painter says that she finds that working with the garden helps her with discernment on
Yeah.
getting a better distance. And Eliza has plants in her carport, and that's helping. And she's feeding her orchid blooms weekly.
Wow.
You got, sounds to me like you got that part of Feng Shui down, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, put comments in the not in the chat section, but in the real for real community page comments, so I can know which direction you want to take this in. I'm looking at openings and doors to the outside and how to ameliorate some of that energy. Oh, what did I say about storage? This woman didn't take care of her storage, and she actually was a feng shui specialist. And she had this little storage shed attached to the side of her house. And she and her husband looked in and they go, oh, it looks like a storage shed. Well, they didn't realize it, but they'd gotten rats until the rats chewed the way through the wall. And she came home and she had friends had given her a millionaire a chocolate bar and a payday chocolate bar, like as a point of prosperity. These are symbols for prosperity.
Right.
And she came in and caught the rats chewing on her prosperity.
Oh.
It's pretty graphic. I lived in a house that rats broke into, but it's because they tore down an apartment complex about 3 blocks from our house. And they not only got in the house, but they ate the wiring in my car.
Yep. They will do that. Here in Canada, if you camp and you have an RV, a trailer, or you deal with classic cars like I used to, when we store our cars or our trailer for the winter, we put SOS pads and I don't know, do you guys use SOS pads, steel wool?
Yes.
And bounce sheets, so fabric softener sheets, and you lay them out. They don't like the smell of it, and so the steel wool you stuff in any cracks or holes that you can see, and then the bounce sheets you lay out on any of the fabrics so they don't bury and try to make a nest, because they literally will eat through the floor in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mine came up through the bottom, but they ate it. So
yeah, we put bounce sheets in the on the floor mats as well in the car.
So I'm going to be doing different rooms because different bedrooms have different kind of vibes you want. We'll talk about living rooms. We're going to talk about dens I actually took a course on feng shuiing your desk. Now, if you looked at my desk right now, you'd laugh and say, "You took a course in that?" But I did. But we'll talk about that. And like I said, I'll try to have, if I can't have better graphics, I'll have a way to put them on PDF so you can get them. And I'll put them on my resource folder on my website. You can go up there, you can get the Violet Flame, You can get different information about stuff I've talked about. You can get the this thing that Danny designed, the browsing sheet. Those things are there, so I don't have to. I mean, I love talking with y'all, but I would hate to miss your email and make you think I didn't care. So, with that, you want to pull one last card for us, lady?
Sure. What deck shall I use? I'll tell you what, I'm going to use my Greenwich Oracle because it's all about plants and herbs and so forth.
Right.
Mice and specifically rats don't like cat fur. And so if you have a cat that sheds, grab, save the hair in a baggie. I know it sounds nasty, and put that out sort of around a hole that may be in your house, and they won't come anywhere near it. Supposedly. I've not tried that one. Okay, this is the third time that I've pulled this card while we've been talking. So this is the watermelon, and we have fertility.
Great. I'd read that this is a way to make your life more fruitful.
Yeah. And I was just noticing that it's card 29, which isn't 11, which is,
Yep.
I don't know about the Feng Shui number 11, but regular 11 it happens to be one of my numbers. So, counting our blessings, bringing in that abundance, right? Which is the sort of season that we're in now. Being very thankful as we get ready to celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving next Monday. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Well, I feel like I've been running a Mrs. Barrett's household tips program, but
listen, these tips are important. They help people.
Well, I know. And I had always had cats before I lived in the house. They wouldn't let me. They wouldn't lease to my cats, so I had friends take them, and that's when I got rats. But I'd never had them before then, and I haven't had them since. So
yeah.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next. I think I'm going to be up Thursday just doing regular questions. Bye.